You see what I'm drawing so far?
Yes, I'm looking at it and I'm like, wow, I cannot wait to see this
So I
one.
got this human form with this just four-way intersection directionally, which makes like a cross with a negative white space in the center. So those four intersections making us a solid, but yet the connection point is still pure energy of like it hasn't decided, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then from that, there's like more directional bearings or concentrations where solid forms are forming in all directions. And like there's a smaller sphere orbiting, to where like kindles like what gravity does for planets and planetary
Mm-hmm.
movement. And then the aura behind him is actually a coagulating eyeball of a newborn. And then
Oh,
this is the eyeball of the left eye of the newborn, and the pupil's actually splitting into two slash an infinity kind of shape. As the pupil and the eyes forming, it's like still in like an infinite motion kind of energetic thing. As it's coagulating, it's still showing its thing. And then, so this infant is inside of a skull, which is inside of a human form. And then I'll explain some of this later, but um, you know, this source line that's coming down through the person, there's like a huge, galactic wheel or orbit um, that is around this center column. And, this one
mm-hmm.
that's going to be closest to the viewer is representative of this lifetime of this individual here. And so
Mm-hmm.
these are all lifetimes that are all connected and rotating, but then
Mm-hmm.
also as each, life has done its run or its current
Mm-hmm.
run, I'll have these little connector kind of pieces that show that it like is helping like form a chain or a link. It's
Mm-hmm.
helping this orbit become more solid because there's going to be like a linking factor between these things.
That's beautiful. That's so cool, so exciting. Thank you. I love it. And I love that it looks like there's these movements almost like U-shaped above and then almost like a rainbow shape kind of below.
Hmm. Yeah. Oh, okay. So you notice that the top line of this face, the ones that are going up,
Hmm.
is the top line of this doorway that comes through the forehead and then out the back of the head, this open
That's very
doorway.
good.
And
That is
then
very good.
the
Yes.
top of this head that's going downward is actually the bottom line of the door.
Hmm.
Um, Almost like this one to get, and then there's overlap, but together making up the passage.
Right. I mean, it's really, um, it's really, really on point experientially from a meditation, um, from a meditation standpoint, because
Mm,
you have this where you have this seat behind the eyes. This is very much like the medulla oblongata seat that sits um, at the base of like the brain and the spine, kind of where they meet
mm,
at the skull. And there's this place, um, well, I mean, third eye, medulla oblongata area where, you know, that's sort of where well, I'll speak for myself. That's sort of where my third eye opens up and it appears to be it's almost like a spaceship.
mm,
It's almost like a spaceship for your consciousness. And so the way you have that, it literally looks like a spaceship and sitting in that area of the brain and the head, from what I can see. I mean, it's so accurate. And then also because you have those bands that I was talking about that, so that uh, from what I've experienced is, and I'll let you bring it in more, of course. Like, I mean, I'm not like telling you to make it anything. Like, I like what you're
mm,
doing, but what it really reminds me of is in meditation, in scripture, we hear what I'm describing referred to as Jacob's ladder. And the Kabbalists describe it as the tree of life. And some may have used the flower of life as a way to portray this ladder between the lower bodies and the higher bodies. And it's very interesting because there's, I can speak from experience from myself only, right? But I wonder if anyone else has experienced this. We have light coming down through that higher portal, which I believe it's Psalms calls that the holy oracle, and that resonates very deeply. So we have light coming down like through the crown and into down through the spine and through the chakra centers. But I also feel like we have a, a lower part of ourselves that's coming up and meeting that light, and then
Mm-hmm.
taking that light down into the fullness of our being. Um, filling the lower chakras and creating this light circuitry from the lower body and what can sometimes manifest as a lower self and up into the heart and the throat and the mind, and then creating and fulfilling our, etheric, auric body. It's sort of like a torus. It's almost like we're each our own little planet, really.
Mm.
Um, um, Connected to all the other sources of light and that nurture us.